Are we rolling? I do believe we're rolling. Of course we're rolling. One moment. Gotta set down my spoon and mosey on over there with my campfire coffee. Oh, gotta take my slurp first, right? Oh man, that's so good. Hold on guys, hold on. I gotta get one more slurp in here. This is really good coffee. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Listen, I put this coffee maker here, this old, with the glass bubble. If you're a coffee drinker and you really like coffee, nothing really tops this except for maybe those, I don't know what they are, air pressure things that screw on at the bottom. Those old-fashioned type bottom percolators. Okay, but not much beats the old-fashioned percolator, I gotta tell you. And I made many coffees over the campfire with one of these, with the glass bubble where you can actually see how rich that coffee is getting, you know. And I gotta say, it still makes the best cup of coffee percolator like that. But anyway, I just thought I'd show it to you. I'm not, as you know, this is not a monetized channel. This is a domestic amateur video. Some people like them, some people don't. Teach their own. I can't afford, the high-tech equipment that some people have for making videos, so I just keep on rolling with what I've got. I'll just set this aside for now and say welcome to Dumpster Divers PC Reclamation, making it count. And these are amateur home videos, but they works in a pinch anyway. All right, I'm gonna move a chair on over here. So this box, 80 plus platinum, this power supply that we featured, this Sama XP power supply, seems to be working okay. So I'm not familiar with the name, as I said in the other video, but so far it's been working out all right. So we have it in the case, and I just wanted to show you something here before I get started on, yes, an unboxing video. But hold on, just to give you an idea of the size of this case. The system board that's here, this system board is a full ATX motherboard. And look at how tiny it is inside the case. I wanted to give you a little bit of an idea of the scale as compared to the size of this case and the ATX system board. Now I've been doing some thinking here. I'll push this aside and I'll sit down here. I hope the camera isn't cutting off my head. Pardon my scruffy appearance. You're probably used to my scruffy appearance if you're familiar with my videos. That's just the way I roll. It's supposed to be a domestic type setting, domestic type video. I've got 3 daughters here at the home. I've got an older daughter living on her own, and these daughters really keep me hopping, let me tell you. So some of them comment on my scruffy appearance, but they're girls, and I make a bit of an effort, but with all this action going on in the home, I just roll out of bed, made a coffee, get this going, before the action hits the house, so I can do a video, and what you see is what you get. Now I've been doing some thinking. This is a beautiful case, wonderful case. I love this case, and you know, I'm very grateful to Steve in the United Kingdom. He sent this thing to me from England, told me happy birthday, all I pay is the shipping. And like, I tried to talk him out of it, but he was insistent in helping me. And I don't know, I kind of feel a little badly about all the footwork he had to do. And then he got nailed with another charge here recently, which I don't think he should have paid, but still, it was mighty kind of him to see to it that I got this case, because as he describes it, they're rare as hen's teeth, and they are. They're very rare, and they're very much in demand for those who know what they are and know how useful they are in terms of utility. You know, if you're not worried about space, you know, but you want something that's solid and reliable and built with quality, you know, then yeah, it's a good case to have. But that aside, and of course, you see, this is the thing. This case, I don't know what, 12, 14-year-old case, you're not going to find stuff like that anymore, because today with the mass production, you know, they've got it down to a science, you know, slap it together as thin metal as you can use to get away with, you know, as least amount of work, you know, involved, and you know, the machinery, the robots that are programmed to just slap these cases together today. You know, basically people are just buying, you know, aquariums, you know, with maybe a little bit of metal on the sides. Nothing in terms of front base, storage space for utility. You know, they're aquariums. As far as I'm concerned, they're aquariums, but a lot of them. And of course, a lot of people are very thrilled about the glitz, all the LED, pretty lights, pretty lights. Well, that's nice, I guess. You know, I mean, you know, you can make it look like, you know, Vegas if you want, you know, whatever. That's all fine, well and dandy, but, you know, in terms of utility, what have you got? And, you know, I mean, like a gamer might have, you know, a really high-speed CPU in it and some high-end XMP RAM and all that, but, you know, it's a gaming rig, right? It's not exactly... and I'm not, look, don't get me wrong, I'm not putting down people who game or anything like that. I'm not doing that. I'm not saying that. It's just, that's a specialized type of build. Okay? Some people like Porsches. Some people like, you know, 18-wheelers. Okay? This case is designed like for a semi-truck. Actually, this case could be a rocket ship. You could put anything in this case. You could turn it into a gaming rig if you wanted to, but your options are there. And what's happening with a lot of things today, not just in hardware, but also software and anything that you buy as a consumer, is they're pulling your options, okay? And they're trying to sell you on the less is more. And, you know, it's becoming a very Orwellian society when they start convincing you that less is more. And that's what we see a lot going on, you know. And if you want actual options and more, you really have to pay for those. But that aside, I'm gonna put this little Cooler Master case, just move it over a little bit, because we're gonna do an unboxing. And I put some thought into this. I'm going to put my X99 system board in this big boy. I'm going to put the X299 in another case that's almost the size of this big boy, just maybe a little bit off in length, but same height pretty much. that case, it was my Thermaltake Level 10 GT. Some of you are familiar with it. If not, look it up, Thermaltake Level 10 GT. You can't buy it brand new anymore. Again, it's an older case. But the X299 is going to go in there. That was my original intent anyway. So I'm going to stay with the original track and put the X299 in that case. But I have to transfer out the X99 from that case into the Cooler Master. So that's what's going to take time. In the meantime, I want to put a faster, newer graphics card on the X299. And so that will be going eventually into the Thermaltake on the X299 build. But the X99, I want to put a 1070, Nvidia 1070 graphics card on that one, which is what I'm using currently anyway. So, the unboxing video. I always find just a razor blade, a utility razor blade is enough. You don't even have to have a fancy box cutter, but there you go. One cut just like that. Okay. Now, of course, I bought this used. And if you're very careful and you know what you're doing, generally you can get pretty good used things on eBay or places like that. Okay? But you have to be very careful. You have to take heed of scammers. You have to make sure that you've got some kind of a warranty or assurance that, if there's something awry, that, you can, like a 30-day money-back guarantee type of thing, that you can buy with confidence. And generally, I find eBay provides that. And I have to be honest, I very rarely ever go wrong with my purchases. You just have to be very careful. Make sure you're always reading the fine print, and make sure that warranty, that 30-day warranty is there. Very rarely have I had to return things buying that way. And all the graphics cards so far that I've purchased that way work. And this is a good thing. You support keeping hardware out of the recycling bin when you do that, when you purchase, hence my play on dumpster divers, right? But there's a serious side to this. And the reason why they're selling these things on places like Kijiji and eBay and all that is because these devices still have value, right? It's kind of like buying a used car, just because a used car is maybe 7 years old. If it's well maintained, it can have a lot of value. Some of these used vehicles hardly have anything on the odometer, and yet they're good, they're reliable, stuff happens, but they still have some value, and why would you want to scrap a car like that? Well, it's the same thing with graphics cards too. Now this one actually is advertised as an open box, meaning that it wasn't really, it really wasn't used much, if at all. And I see that the styrofoam for it is here, but here it is. It's a little bit more obscure card. It's an Asus GeForce RTX 3070, and when I say obscure, it's because it's called a KO. A KO. And it wasn't that I think there was anything wrong with it or had a bad rep or anything. And everything I've looked up at the on the internet regarding this card, all the stats are fine. It's had very good reviews. I think it's been clocked a little bit faster than the standard 3070. that doesn't matter to me one way or the other, to be honest. But I'm going to try this card out in my currently functioning X99, just to see how, how well it does there. But it will be going in the X299 build. But the X99 is what it's going to be going into this big machine, this case here, because older case, older hardware. I'm going to be transferring the older hardware into this case here, the Cooler Master, and that's it. I'm still going to do it justice. I'm still going to, like an X99 board in this case is already rather impressive, but I'm going to keep it, looking legitimate, decent, nothing overwhelmingly outrageous, but at the same time, I want to set it up for utility, just as I have set up my Thermaltake Level 10 GT. All right, so it's a pretty weighty card. My goodness, this card will need some support, so it's obviously well heat sinked. Yeah, I think it needs to be cleaned up a bit. I don't know that it's really an open box, but that's what it said. I'll give it a go. It isn't really, like, there's no scratches, none at all. 0 scratches on this card. So yeah, maybe it is an open box. But for what I paid for this, I have to say, I paid around 400 Canadian for it. Like, that's taxes, shipping, and everything else included. And I was doing a little research on the RTX3070, and it really appears like bang for the buck. It's about the best card you can buy is the 3070 in that series, So the not the 3060, not the 3080, but the 3070, and has the best resale value. So I doubt that I'll ever be reselling it, but I'm going to be using it. And that's really how I operate, because there's a little bit something there. I don't know. It can be removed. I don't have the money to spend thousands of dollars on a graphics card, and often, like, there are drawbacks to being an early adopter. So in this case, what I'm generally buying is tried and tested, already proven. Whether it's good, whether it's reliable, or whether it's just junk. It's if you're careful, you can get some pretty good deals, good value for your money. And so I'm going to try this card out in my system and see how well it works. And yeah, I'll go with that. But it's interesting because the 3070, from what I can see, overall, like in performance tests, like there's some cases where it falls short, but overall, this thing will take on a 4060. It will do better than a 4060. Okay, so when I'm looking at things like that, if a 3070 will do better than a 4060, I'm definitely going to get a 3070. It's going to cost me less money. Probably, like, I was looking at the 4060s right now, and they're asking for $800, Canadian, or higher for a 4060. I can get a card for half the amount, that does better. I think I'm going to go with the RX 3070. Now I realize that the 570s and the 580s and the 590s are out there. Bang for the buck, a 580, 590 is going to be a hard bargain, man. You only buy those cards if you really mean to keep them for the rest of your life, because it's going to be really hard to get your value from them. And then, so many, like 1 decade later, maybe you can get something for it, but you're not going to get a lot for it. So, but then, at the same time, you had a decade of use from it, so maybe it's worth it for you. I'm not an early adopter. I'm a dumpster diver. Well, in a manner of speaking. But my 1070 has served me very well, and that was an EVGA, and I'm still using it right now, and it has never disappointed me. And it's a pity that EVGA got out of the graphics card business, because they were a fairly reliable company, and their graphics cards were, reliable, and they stood behind their product. And so what can I say? There are some reasons, and I respect their reasons, and I agree with their reasons, by the way. But life goes on, and I have to roll forward. So I'm going to put this ASUS graphics card on an ASUS system board, and not because I'm an ASUS fanboy, which I was, but I'm no longer. I'm not a fanboy of anything anymore, because I've learned my lesson. It's not the brand name. It's not the brand name that makes hardware worthwhile, or dependable or reliable. It's the quality and craftsmanship. How much actual work was put into the product, and quality control, proper testing. Sometimes AMD will come up with CPUs that just run circles around Intel's equivalent. Sometimes Intel will make a product that will put AMD to shame. Sometimes AMD will come up with a graphics card that in its tier will definitely give Intel some competition, or Nvidia some competition, right? But for the most part, I found that Nvidia is a wee bit better. And that might change, that might change. Doesn't mean that I'm a big Nvidia fan. In fact, in the gaming rig that I rarely use, I mean, I've got the Sapphire, what's it called, RX590. Is it RX? I can't. Yeah, because this is an RTX, right? Nvidia does RTX, and the RX is AMD, right? So, yeah, this is an RTX 3070, but I've got the 590 Nitro limited edition plus high-end, I guess, gaming card. Sapphire. It looks pretty in the case. It looks really nice. It does seem to perform pretty good. I have to, and it works with Linux nicely. That's the thing. It works very well with Linux, and so. But I hardly use that. You see, I'm just not a hardcore gamer. I mean, I'm a, I can be a loyal gamer, sort of, kind of, I guess, But I have more fun building PCs and stuff like that. You know, to each their own, right? To each their own. But I'm not really a hardcore gamer like my daughters. Oh my goodness, they tell me stuff I don't even relate to. I don't even understand. And in my daughter's well, the youngest, the copper top, she uses she's got some Asus, I think it's an RX580 card. So there you are. You know, there's another. I'm trying to remember the name of it. But that's another AMD product. And then in the guest computer, we put in a XFS XXX. I think that, I don't know if that's a 580 or 590, but it's a peppy little card, I have to say, because we wanted to do the guest, you know, a service, because our other card that we had in there, an older Radeon card, it was not, it couldn't do the job. And you know, when we have guests over, well, we want them to enjoy their gaming experience as well. So yeah, so we took care of that. So we're going to try this card out here, this Nvidia card. So I'm just saying, I just wanted to say that, you know, that you know, I'm not all Nvidia, and I'm not all Intel. You know, there's the good and the bad and the ugly in all, you know. And what I think one should do is just look at the individual product and see, you know, what it does. But I would say that overall, yes, overall, Nvidia's probably got the market just a wee bit better than AMD has. But then, of course, what you pay for that is another matter. If you're buying brand new, you're going to really pay for Nvidia products, just as you would with Intel. And it used to be that AMD was a pretty good deal, but they're turning out to be just like Intel's, from what I can see when it comes to their prices. They're not much cheaper. Okay, so that's what I've been seeing. You know, that's how I see it, and that's my you know, my view. But if you don't see how AMD has been gradually upping, you know, the price on your bang for the buck, I think you might need to go over your notes again. But yeah, so this is it, and I guess I'll give you a close-up, since I don't have a camera person. Copper Top's going to be doing some camera work, so yeah, KO, I guess they got some gold and silver coloration on here. It was not one of the more popular, and I don't think it has anything to do with the specs. Maybe the design. I'll tell you one thing, this card is so heavy. This is a very heavy card. Yeah, good thing it's going in a reinforced case, because this is really heavy. Now, it can do PCIe 4, but the only system board I have that does PCIe 4 is the gaming rig that I've got all the memory pulled out of it because I hardly ever use it. But you know, it can be used on PCIe 3 as well. So it's going in the X99 or the X299. Pardon me. Eventually, that's where it ends. That's where it rests. Because I like to keep AMD with AMD. And yeah, that's just me. I'm not saying you can't use it on an AMD. It's just, that's just my policy. That's how I operate. But it's a nice looking card. Brushed aluminum metal back, it looks like. Well, maybe it's plastic. That could be plastic, but no, I don't think so. It's so heavy. It's much heavier than my EVGA, my EVGA. It's much heavier. So good thing it's going in a in the X299 with the reinforced PCIe slots, because it could probably benefit from that. All right, so that's the unboxing video. I don't know, maybe I should walk over there. It's got a tiger on it. Like you know, it doesn't seem to be such a bad card. It's got 2 of the HDMI ports, 2 HDMI. You know, many just have 1. This one's got 2. So, yeah. I'll see how it is. I'll see how it works, you know. Either this is titanium, or this card has actually been used a lot. We'll find out. We'll find out. If it works good, it works good. I paid very little for it compared to, you know, what I would buy a brand new 4060, which works not as well as a 3070. So, you know, yeah, I think I'm going to go with this, and hopefully it will perform better than my 1070. But thanks again for watching Dumpster Divers PC Reclamation home videos, and I will definitely be working on this Cooler Master build a little bit at a time. As you can see, I've got a system board in it, not the X99. I just wanted to show you scale, and I wanted to test switch, and I want to test the harness. I'm going slow with this build because once I build this thing, it's going to be solid, rock solid. But I wanted to run some tests on it, and I wanted to check out a few things. Everything seems to be checking on it just fine. So I've already kind of got the ATX board unplugged again, and eventually I will get the X99 system board in it. But it means, what it means is it means moving my X99 build out of the thermal take and into this case. And guess what PC I'm using the most right now? That's right, my X99 build. I've also got some RAM coming in that I'd like to show you. So stay tuned. You know, please subscribe, as one fellow says online. Please subscribe. It's so funny when he says that. Not because this is monetized. Please subscribe so that this can be more and more out there on the algorithm, more and more out there for other people to learn from. Because I do a lot of how-to stuff, and I plan on doing a how-to here shortly with the copper top, you know, my daughter, and with respect to a power supply, just because some people don't know how to install a power supply, and you know, I just you know, you don't have to subscribe. Like, you're not, it's not going to cost me anything because I'm not monetizing. But if you do subscribe, you can stay tuned to this channel. You can see, you know, what benefits are, you know, what I'm exactly doing here as an amateur home video kind of guy and a PC builder. I've been building PCs for 22 years, and no, I'm not like Kerry Holtzman, who, you know, he has a lot very nice equipment to do very professional videos. And Kerry, he kind of is my senior when it comes to building PCs. I can tell that he is. All right, he is a pro, and so a shout out to Kerry. But he's got his views too, right? And well, maybe one day I'll do a video on something. I don't quite see much in the same way he does with respect to Windows 11. But we're going to save all that for another video. You need to stay tuned, because I do have a little knowledge, even though I'm a bit of a maverick, you might say. All right, so God bless you. Thank you for watching. We'll be back soon enough. Bye for now.